The DD214 Network podcast is for mature audiences only. Any videos, music, or entertainment not originating from the DD214 network is used and covered under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, also known as fair use. Opinions expressed are our own and do not represent any DoD or U.S. government entities as a whole. This podcast is for entertainment purposes only. Viewer and listener discretion is advised. You are no longer alone now because we have you.
Good morning.
Oh man, it's another beautiful day.
Yep.
It is the 27th of August. Fall
Yep.
time is right around the corner. Sweater weather.
All you
is here, baby.
motherfucking pumpkin sluts are just waiting, just wet, aren't you? Just so fucking wet right now. I can fucking feel it. All right. The humidity has definitely gone up this week. All right. Thanks to all you fucking autumn loving like whores out there. All right. How you guys doing?
I'm good. Dude. I feel good. I've actually been waiting to do this episode all week, despite all the other stuff that I do. Like, I was just like, man, I can't wait to do this next episode because it's going to be a lot. It's going to be
dude.
a lot.
There was something new every day this week. Like all I know is it was hot as fuck this week here in Kansas City, and now I know some of that heat has shifted down into like the South and like the Gulf region, and it's fucking like the heat was fucking murder this week out here. Like what were we about to say, Joe? Sorry.
That's the thing. There was so much fucking shit to talk about this week. You know, last week I said I was moving this weekend. Fucking last night, last minute, I'm dead ass tired, and I was like, I've got to at least get the podcast set up and running.
But you made it.
There's too much shit to talk about for me to fucking miss out on.
But you made it, didn't you, Joe?
And,
you fucking
and
made
I
it.
fucking did it. But no, this fucking heat wave, fucking Friday. So Friday, moving out of the old place, just grab and throw, loading the fucking U-Haul. I drank a fucking pallet worth of fucking water.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Like 40 plus fucking 12-ounce bottles of water on Friday.
He said a pallet.
And let me guess, you only took like one or two pisses like the entire day, if any at all, right?
I think I took one piss at night right before I took a shower.
Yep.
Because it was all just coming right out my fucking pores.
I remember one very specific day. This was pre-army in the land of Jay, but I was working construction in Arizona in Tucson. And I remember drinking because I brought an entire gallon of water to work with me this one particular day. Drank the entire thing and didn't take one single piss, like at all. Like I drank that whole motherfucking thing, and I didn't have my body used so much of that water. I didn't have enough of my bladder to take a piss. This is like I was like 20, 27, 28, 26, somewhere in there. So I was like still a young man, but like yeah, like you got to drink water, homies. Like you got to hydrate, motherfuckers. All right.
So I drank the water, and then I also was drinking these.
What are them?
So it's a Flash IV, so it's got 720 milligrams of potassium, 530 milligrams of sodium, 880 milligrams of chloride, zinc, vitamins B and C, coconut water. So it's an electrolyte drink, but it's actually an electrolyte drink with everything you fucking need to replenish your body when you're profusely fucking sweating.
Right.
So for every 10 bottles of water I drank one of these to just put in all that extra shit also that I wasn't getting from the water itself.
Okay.
My back, my calves, my fucking ankles. I mean, everything fucking hurts. I've got bruises, spots that I don't even know how I got bruised. But fucking did it. Yesterday I had to manhandle the washer and dryer by myself because that was the only thing we didn't get out on Friday. This morning, before getting ready for the episode, I walked over to the old unit, drug my smoker and my grill over here and put it on our patio here.
What was the temperature where you were at in your neck of the woods? What was the temperature?
So it was before heat index, it was 98 degrees. After heat index,
which is still balls hot in the South. Like that's just yeah. And then with the heat index, what was it?
We were sitting around like 115.
Yeah. I think I think there wasn't a single day last week during like Monday through Friday that the heat index was below like 112. Like it got like dangerous, like that's dangerously hot basically when there's humidity involved. So,
like I could have stuck a pot in the car with water in it and put a couple eggs in that fucking pot and made hard-boiled eggs while we were moving.
Sure.
Just by letting it fucking chill in the car all day. I'd have been able to cook fucking eggs.
We kept the dogs inside. We stayed inside. We didn't go anywhere unless we absolutely had to. Like all fucking week, we were like, it is too fucking hot. It just like there was no energy this week.
Yeah,
people get testier. You know what I mean? You notice like people getting a little bit, they don't have as much patience. You know what I mean? And people start getting like a little hot headed. You know, you could see it. Like it was like it just seeped in this week in Kansas City. It was gross, man. It was just mega hot. Like nobody wanted to do anything. Everybody wanted to chill. So it was like, you know what? I'm calling it. Like it's the kids' first week at fucking school. You know what I mean? So it was like we're not doing anything. We're staying at home. It's too fucking hot. You know, and thankfully I started cooling down yesterday, and today finally it's only fucking 76 fucking degrees right now, which is like holy fucking thank you. It's only 76 goddamn degrees here. Like today is perfect.
Here too.
So
dude, today
is
it's like cloudy. It's cloudy. I think there's a chance of rain later. Like everybody's just like, what was it? Was that in Spartacus? That Spartacus where like where he became like the rainmaker or the rainbringer or whatever because he killed that dude in the Colosseum and it finally rained. The maker of rain. You know, like so. Thank whoever the maker of rain in Kansas City is. Like, thank you ahead of time for bringing it today because like we fucking needed it, dude. Like, we needed a fucking shower. Like, it's been nasty this week. The whole city needed a shower. So go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, right now it's 82 outside. The high today is 87.
There you go. So that's a lot gooder. I mean,
it'll still be in the like when you add heat index in because it's sunny and shit. We don't have clouds right now.
There was a town in Kansas the other day that like it was a town in Kansas was the fucking hottest place in the United States. Woo. Like they beat everybody. They beat fucking Arizona. They beat California, Nevada. Like this one town for one day, and it was like it has no business being that fucking hot out here. Like when it gets that hot, it's like you can't sweat. Like the sweating does nothing. It does not cool your body down anymore when it's that humid. So like you basically just slowly roast. And it's like humans are not supposed to be in those conditions for very long. You know what I mean? Like if you're talking about outside, you have like, generally speaking, you have about 6 hours. You know what I mean? Like if you're just fully exposed, you know, you remember like the Wild West, the frontier days, then people would die of exposure. That's exposure. Like you basically heat stroke out and die. Like that's what exposure is. You know what I mean? So little friendly tip from your pal neighborhood Jay. All right, stay indoors. You know, if you're around if you're around the Gulf region right now, some of the southeast parts of Texas, stay the fuck indoors. I hope everything like seriously hope like the AC stays on. If the AC doesn't stay on, fucking immediately go to a place where one is and stay there.
Yeah.
And you have to stay there. Like, cause you will not, like, you just can't make it, dude. Like after a certain, it gets ridiculous. I think a generator or something went out at a nursing home here in Kansas City. Like it was like Tuesday or Wednesday. They had to evacuate the nursing home. Like that's like, I'm not lying or exaggerating when I say, like, if you don't have AC, people will die. People will fucking die.
Yeah. I mean, we just had to. I mean, we just had to switch out my AC because my AC wasn't doing anything.
Right. Well, and we've become so accustomed to having our our backsides wiped for us, basically, and with modern technology and civilization, we forget that, like, it was not that long ago, dude. Like, some of this shit didn't fucking exist. You know what I mean? So, like, you'd be double fucked if, like, you know what I mean? Like, some of these, like, weather, you know, some of the weather phenomenon that we're experiencing, you know, like when we have these massive heat waves, when we have those like polar vortexes, you know, hitting us, we got, like, when you think about this stuff, you're like, it wasn't that long ago, man. Like 30 or 40 years ago, we probably would be fucked. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, maybe even like, you know, 50, 60, like 80 years ago for sure, we'd be fucked.
And
we would
like,
just be fucked.
And like my wife said, we just switched out our AC because our old AC, it was doing stuff, but it wasn't conditioning, right?
Right.
So all of a sudden when we took the AC out, like a waterfall just poured right out of the damn thing. And we're just like, oh, well, that's great. There's all our conditioning right there.
Right.
We got this new AC that my sister gave us, right? Damn thing conditions way too fucking much. It's like it's just like it's too goddamn powerful. It's so goddamn cold. It's insane.
So that's one thing I'm waiting on, because for the office at my new place, because the upstairs obviously runs hotter because I went from a flat apartment to a townhome, and to keep the upstairs in the upper 60s, low 70s, I have to put the fucking AC unit in the townhome down to 60 fucking 3.
Jesus Christ.
That sounds
just to cool the upstairs off.
Yeah. Sounds a little excessive.
But I ordered a portable AC unit, one of those stand units that, not a window unit, but it sits in the room and then it vents out the window.
Yeah.
To put in the office to cool the upstairs. It's a 10,000 BTU unit. It'll be more than enough to cool the upstairs to where I don't have to turn the downstairs into a fucking ice box to keep the upstairs cool. Because today it feels fine up here because it's not gotten super fucking hot, and I got all my blackout curtains hung up, because that was the first thing I wanted to do, was get all curtains hung up, blackout curtains, upstairs, downstairs, to cut as much of the light coming in out, dissipate heat. Because yesterday, even with the AC running like that and not being in and out all day yesterday, like we were on Friday, upstairs it was still probably in the 80s in the upstairs until it got dark out and started cooling out outside, and I got all the shit hung. So I just, sleep last night was very fucking hard for me because I need.
Yeah, man, I'll tell you what, when you're cold and it's cool under your bed sheets, you know, it can be very comforting, you know, even in the middle of winter time, because you got something you can cover up with. When it's hot, when your room is hot, when your body's hot, like, it just, mass suffering, homie. Mass suffering. Like I've been there, and I know exactly what you're describing. It's like there's no real going to sleep. You kind of wake up every hour or two. You roll over. You try to find a cool spot under the pillow that, like, doesn't exist. You know, it was never there. And, like, dude, I know it. This week was hellfire.
Wake up every hour or so, just drenched in fucking sweat.
Yep. And there's nothing you can do. Showering does nothing. You get out of the shower, and by the time you dry it off, you're hot again.
You're already sweating again.
You're already hot and sweating again. Like, it's literally like it's hard to describe. Like, A lot of us in the community know, because we spent a lot of time out in the field, right? But when you're hot and miserable, like there's hot and miserable and there's hot and fucking miserable. And like about half the country this week got to experience hot and miserable for 6 days in a row. Like we should have our fucking heads examined. My softball team, we played softball last Tuesday. You want to know what time our first game was? 2 p.m. That was the dumbest shit I've done.
That.
Dude, that was the dumbest shit I've done. We've got some youngsters on our team. Like a couple of them are not even old enough to drink yet. Like they're in their early 20s or whatever. We got a couple of youngsters. They were coming in off the field after innings, being like, "Man, I almost got kind of sick out there playing third." And I was like, "Oh, god damn it." And then like little bit later, like, "Hey, is it normal to have like when your skin kind of starts getting tingly and like feels a little clammy?" And I was like, so we kind of got our asses kicked the first game. So that game ended really quick. But the second game, we're in like it was the bottom of the third. We're batting last. There's 2 outs. I go up to the umpire, but I was getting ready to go to bat. I go up to the umpire and I was like, "Hey, can you go ask their captain, like, if they're okay if we just call it after this fucking inning?" Because I could tell, like, we've got a few youngsters on our team. Everybody on the opposing team, literally everyone, was like my age or older. So, like, I wasn't just worried about the kids. I was worried about, like,
everybody.
All the grandpas like fucking me playing fucking softball at 3:00 in the afternoon in Kansas. You know, it was in Blue Springs, Missouri, when we had no business being outside at all. And it was really funny because we had 1 out left, and the other team pretty much immediately agreed. And I think somebody needed to give it voice. Everybody wanted to, but nobody wanted to be the one to say anything. And I was like, "Fuck this! Somebody's gonna pass the fuck out." You know what I mean? Like somebody's gonna
fucking die a heat stroke.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. And I was like, "Fuck no!" Like I told the ump, they agreed. In case you're wondering how the at bat went, like Jay got a hit, and I think I got a couple RBIs on my hit. It was a double. Or no, that one was a single. But it was a very hard hit to the outfield. And we ended up staging a very slight comeback, but we didn't make it quite all the way there. But yeah, we got the fuck off the field, dude. It was too hot. It was too fucking hot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like is it normal for my skin to be clammy and like I feel a tingly sensation? Like, no, it's not. That's an early warning sign of heat exhaustion. That is an early warning sign of heat exhaustion. Okay, when you start feeling nauseous by being outside, okay, that's an early warning sign of heat exhaustion. It means immediately fucking move indoors, start fucking drinking water, slowly, sip it, don't chug, sip it.
Because someone just died. Someone literally just died 2 weeks ago from drinking
too much water. Too much water.
That's
in a rapid too much water in
too little time frame. Yes, and that is an absolute possibility. You have to be. The whole point is to cool down your core temperature. It's not about necessarily having or not having enough water all the time. It's about cooling yourself down. The idea of drinking water is that as your body cools, you'll have moisture within your body for your body to wick out and sweat out. That will continue cooling your core down. The only way to cool your fucking core down when it's fucking heat index fucking 117 million is to be in air conditioning. Yep. I shit you not. That is the only, like, you're fucked if you're outside. You really are.
And that's like, you know, my buddy that came to help us move. Both of us are vets. Both of us, you know, combat tours.
Yeah.
Well, my fiance was like, "If you want, I'll throw a couple bottles of water into the freezer." And we were like, "No, leave it at fucking room temperature. We don't need ice cold water because that'll throw us into shock if we drink that with how hot our core temperature is. If we drink it too fast with it cold, it can put our body in shock. We just need it to stay fucking room temperature. Just leave the bottled water in the fucking floor. We'll grab a bottle when we need it."
Yep. By the way, I gotta say, I love your fucking shirt, dude. Like, fucking show everybody your fucking, look at that, Flogging Molly, dude. That shit's fucking bad ass, dude. That shit is fucking bad ass, dude.
From that concert that I went to. So,
which concert? I think you might have cut out a little bit there.
It was Flogging Molly in concert. I went and saw them back in February in Chattanooga.
Badass, dude. That is fun. I still have not. I've seen Dropkick, but I have not seen Flogging Molly yet. So that's badass, dude. So, that's like I had to give you fucking props on your shirt, dude. That's a dope ass shirt, dude. Usually you're wearing some like lame ass like Cross Pistols or some MP cop shit. Like, no, I mean, I like flogging Molly, dude. Like,
Yeah. So
Nah, normally I've got a
Fuck you.
grunt style shirt on. Go fuck yourself.
so we have a lot to talk about, so we got to move on.
Yeah.
Something was pointed out by Frenchie, my wife. It's episode 1, 2, 3. I didn't even know this, like the sequential
1,
is of
2,
the
3.
three numbers. But it
You did that
is
wrong.
episode 123. Do we ever do anything right, Joe?
I mean, we this if there is such a thing as like a punk rock like military
I'm
veteran show, like this has got to be about as close as anybody's gotten yet.
I'm
You know?
pretty sure. I'm pretty sure the only thing the three of us do right is beat our meat.
I'm really good at that shit. I've gotten very, very good. Like
Outside of that, I'm pretty sure everything else is done completely fucking wrong.
I've been steadily failing upwards for about 42 years of my life.
Yeah.
But I am failing upwards. Okay, I can assure you, the trajectory is still. I am still gaining altitude at this point, which is also a little scary. Also a little scary. But I'm still gaining altitude at this point, which is I've been failing upwards for 42 years. But
So
cheers to being here to talk shit about it, right?
Yeah,
But-
episode 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, and I mean, 1, 2, 3 should be a good one too. I mean, let's talk about the deaths that happened this week.
Just
was a
wait till
lot.
3, 2, 1.
It's a lot of
Dude,
Yeah.
yeah, we had a few, you know, nameworthy, deaths. I gotta start.
order.
I gotta start with this one. I know we've got a few that people might know a little bit better or worse than others, but I gotta start with Terry Funk. Like,
The master of hardcore.
dude, the one of Mick Foley's best friends. If you're familiar with the late 70s, early 80s time in wrestling, the man was everywhere. Okay, he was in NWA. He was in freaking WCCW, which eventually became WCW, which eventually merged with NWA. He was in the USWA. Okay, he was in the Georgia territories. He was in the UWF. He was obviously in the WWF/WWE. Like, this is Terry motherfucker.
Many years.
He is still one of the only men of, or at least of a few, who is known to have actively wrestled in 6 different decades.
Yeah.
He actively wrestled in 6 different decades.
No,
Like, you can
it's-
imagine. Like,
It's interesting too, because like if he was opening a show at the Silver Dome, he had to be at Madison Square Garden at 9 p.m. that night to headline another one on the same day. You know,
Right.
it was, and the wrestling, the territory days are actually my favorite wrestling era.
it's
know?
it's because every territory brought its own flavor.
Yeah.
They all brought their own, and that's why they had, like, you had
Mhm.
superstars versus superstars. You had territories creating temporary alignments so they could have their guys wrestle each other, because people loved their wrestlers so much from these different territories. And then they would start, shooting over to each other's. We see a lot of the same stuff now. It's just that
But
after the 90s, the WWE basically consolidated and monopolized. So, like, it's taken a while. It's taken almost 20 years. What have we got? Like AEW and a bunch of independent shit, right?
Yeah.
Well, and that's the
and
big thing. So, like, with us on the topic of wrestlers' deaths this week, Thursday before the move, while I was waiting on getting the keys for the new place and waiting on my buddy to get into town and all that shit, I watched on Peacock, they have a documentary for the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes. And they were going through his career, and they got to the point where he left WWE and went to the independent circuit.
Right.
And they were like,
It's a
he's
big
the one
thing.
that broke the whole, if you're wrestling on one independent circuit, you don't wrestle anywhere else. But because all the independent circuits wanted him so fucking bad,
Right. He was
he was
fucking
wrestling
YOLO.
with fucking
YOLO.
Ring of Honor, New Japan, fucking this one, that one, this one, because everybody wanted him so fucking bad because he was a huge name already.
He is a good pure wrestler. So he can work with multiple different styles of whoever your promotion has that you want to throw at him. He can work with them, and part of the whole beauty of what has become professional wrestling in 2023. Part of that beauty is how well they work together.
Yeah.
It is a fucking choreographed stuntman fucking fight to the death. Okay, every time people step in that ring, and you have to be able to believe it. The only way you're going to believe it is if people work.
The guy defeated Lou Thez.
Yeah, Lou Thez. You're like Lou
beat
Thez,
Lou
dude.
Thez.
People don't even know who the fuck Lou Thez is, and like I love you, John, for fucking. I know who Lou Thez is. Probably the only other motherfucker that's wrestled in 6 different decades besides Terry Funk.
Dylan.
You know what I'm saying?
Good morning, Dylan.
And I found out about Lou Thez because of Stone Cold Steve Austin's Lou Thez press, because he uses it as one of his signature moves before hitting the stunner and all that stuff. So it's very Terry Funk. I like one of the growing up, I wasn't able to watch territory wrestling and stuff like that. So when I first saw Terry Funk, he was coming out the backstage helping out Mick Foley after he got thrown off the cell.
Yeah,
that was the very first time. The first time I ever saw Terry Funk, and people were just like, "Oh, that's Terry Funk," and then hearing stories how he would be the guy that wrestlers would trust to blade them because he was
so good. He was so. There's a when you watch the 30 for 30 on Ric Flair, and they talk about how much Ric Flair would practice, and he would tape a piece of fucking string from a windowsill.
This fucking thing.
And he would practice throwing punches. And the whole idea is to throw a realistic looking punch without having the freaking string move. And that was Ric Flair, and that was Terry Funk's era. That's where they all came up kind of together, and like that's how serious they took it. They took it. You had to be a fucking magician if you're gonna make something that is supposed to be an actual fight. If you're gonna make something that is supposed to be an actual fight look real, you have to fucking treat it like it's real, right? Like that's part of the magic. Like, and so that's the idea there is like he made it look Terry Funk is probably one of the only people that would really make me question, like, is this scripted or not? Because the dude would take some fucking serious hits. Like ICP released a bootleg fucking wrestling video called Stranglemania back in the 90s. I had that shit. And like,
oh yeah, wow, yeah.
It was from the King of the Deathmatch tournament. And there's a bunch of footage from like King of the Deathmatch, and it was ICP commentating over it. So instead of like the regular announcers, you heard like Violent J and Shaggy talking shit, and they called him drunk Terry Flunk in that video. And like him and Mick Foley get to the end in that exploding no rope barbed wire exploding deathmatch fucking like final. And dude, those matches were fucking hardcore. Like this is hardcore before hardcore existed. This is like unheard of. Some of the shit they don't do anymore. They don't do some of this shit anymore because it is legitimately like it's too dangerous. You know what I mean? Like Terry Funk was a goddamn G, like a fucking legend.
Yeah.
And like fuck. And he made it to 79. What was he? 79, right? 79. That motherfucker made it to almost 80 years old. Like fuck, dude. Like,
and then
the next day.
The very next day. So what? It was Thursday was Terry Funk. Yep. Then Friday, Bray Wyatt. Or no, was it
Bray Wyatt? It was Bray Wyatt.
Yeah, because they actually did the memorial like episode that SmackDown. They did the whole salute. Yeah, they did the whole memorial for Bray Wyatt the day he passed that evening.
I thought it was cool that Braun Strowman was there.
So Braun Strowman and I think
Eric Rowan.
Eric Rowan, but Braun Strowman is actually kind of out right now due to an injury. Yeah. But he flew out to be there for that episode of SmackDown. Roman Reigns was actually on his way, but due to travel difficulties, wasn't able to make it. Yeah. So instead, Roman went to Bray Wyatt's house and gave Wyatt's wife the which championship belt was it? It's the one that because Wyatt actually
Intercontinental freaking US championship.
It might have been the WWE championship because I believe
is that the one that looks like the old NWA?
No.
No. It's a more newer title with the big W on it. I don't remember if it's the blue one or the black one.
I got to inject real quick. Is like,
Yeah.
what's your favorite championship belt of all time? Because mine is definitely like the old NWA belt because it made the WWF
So
belt look so much inferior for so
That's-
long. Like it was like
that's part of my top 5, but my favorite one is the big gold from WCW.
So it was
just
the
show me the difference. 'Cause I wonder if we're talking about the same thing. That might be the one I'm talking.
It's not the
It's
big
like the
gold was the
undisputed-
huge one.
You'll have to show me. We'll do it here in a little bit.
yeah, I'm
But
trying
yeah,
to
like,
find it.
I felt bad.
the
I
exact-
felt bad because I haven't kept up in WWE. I didn't really know who Bray Wyatt was, and then I looked it up, and I realized his father was a wrestler that I know very, very well. Yeah, that's the one I'm
IRS.
talking about. That's the
Yep.
one I'm talking about, John.
I love
That-
that.
That's the one. That's the one. That's the old. That's basically like they kept the old NWA belt,
Yeah.
and
they
it turned
just-
into like,
Yep.
and it was, dude, that shit always made WWE shit look stupid. It
really
was like,
it was
that
so
was-
nice.
dude,
And-
it's such a fucking beautiful fucking like wrestling championship belt. Like, oh my god.
And yeah, so the news broke from Triple H saying that he spoke to IRS, the father
Mm-hmm.
of Bray
Mike
Wyatt.
Rotunda. Yeah, it's Mike Rotunda. Yep.
Yeah, and now also there's also a brother too, which is also Bo Dallas.
Yep.
He's another Rotunda, and then there's also a sister too. And Bray Wyatt, to me, this was the most shocking one, and it's very heartbreaking too because he lost his best friend 2 years ago.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say, and he's young. Like that. Like
Oh.
anytime people go
26.
before they're like 40, dude. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm a year away from that. You know what I mean? So it really puts things into perspective. And
sure.
it's just- I didn't really watch a lot of wrestling.
So
but-
it was Thursday that Wyatt passed.
okay, and it was Wednesday that Funk passed.
Yep. That
Okay.
sounds about right. That sounds about
Yeah.
right. That's-
So it's just it's very. I mean, it's so sudden. You wake up in the morning and you're just like, holy shit, Wyndham Rotunda passed away. You know what I mean? And we're talking a third generation wrestler.
Yep.
He just had his 4th kid. Beautiful family. And I don't.
Yeah, and we know wrestling doesn't exactly pay out freaking like life insurance. You know
So
what I mean?
the
Yeah,
belt
like-
the belt that Reigns brought to Wyatt's wife was the WWE Universal Championship
The
belt.
blue one. Okay. Oh,
The
blue
blue
one? Yep.
blue Universal Championship belt, because the inaugural use of that belt, Wyatt was the one who
yeah.
had it.
And
And now
correct me-
the WWE universe, all the fans are calling for the WWE to completely retire that belt in honor of Wyatt.
I mean, they should. Then we also just what was it yesterday? We lost Bob Barker.
Mm-hmm.
That might have been Friday. And then yesterday was
Yes, it was Sorkin.
yes. So Friday, freaking Bob Barker made it as close to 100 without going over. Like, dude was 99 fucking years old, dude. Like, fucking champion, fucking absolute champion. The fucking this guy. It's
All right,
Dusty.
calm down.
This dusty old bastard, made like he was the king of fucking being home from sick from school. Okay, he was the king of freaking like
He
just-
provided a lot of fucking entertainment for us when we were
oh
homesick. from
god
school.
yes. And watching him get into a fist fight with Adam Sandler in the 90s, dude, was like that. Just like made our entire childhoods, right? Just
Mhm.
made our childhoods. By the way, the 90s was 30 fucking years ago. Okay,
Yes,
like
it was.
the dude just croaked like yesterday. Like Bob Barker, freaking like, we salute you, dude. Like, we'll see
We
you on the other
salute
side,
you.
homie.
And then we lost Arlene Sorkin.
Arlene
for,
Sorkin.
and I've actually questioned is she or was related to Alan Sorkin? Is that
That I'm not sure.
yeah, I mean, because that's not a really common last name. You know what I
No,
mean? And the
no.
Sorkins are
I'm
very
not
are
sure.
entertainment
I'm not
family.
sure, but I know she was the progenitor of the the original voice of the Batman the Animated Series voice of Harley Quinn, and
who was made for the show.
made for the show. That was the origin of the Harley Quinn character, and I don't think it would have been the same without her voice. I
agree.
don't think I don't even know if the
agree.
character would. I don't know if the character would still be around. Like, it's just like that iconic, like Mr. J, You know, or
Yeah.
maybe I just like that because, you know, my name is Jay.
So
So
actually, Arlene died on the 24th.
Oh, really? Oh, and they
few
broke
days
the
ago.
news. Okay.
It's just you got to think sometime news takes a little bit of time to.
Yeah, that's true. Families wanted to
Well,
keep it as private as possible. Understandable.
But anywho, like, yeah, she was a good dude. Clearly a very, very classy lady. Everything I read about her was very stand up, very, like, you know, upfront. Like, she was a good solid woman. So it sucks to lose her and lose kind of like like an icon of what eventually became something so much bigger than herself. You know,
Yeah.
and that character Harley Quinn is now selling out fucking movie theaters because Barbie plays her. You know what I mean? And like, there's a whole subculture revolving around Harley Quinn that is not just filled with freaking horny teenage dudes.
Yeah.
There's a lot of like young ladies that, you know, kind of see aspects of that character as like being true to themselves and standing up for themselves, you know, and not taking no shit from the fucking world. And
Yeah.
that's so Miss Arlene Sorkin, like, you will be missed. You will be
Yeah,
missed.
rest
So,
in peace to every person that we lost this week in that world and out of it. You
Yep.
know, I mean, it almost kind of feels like there's a rapture going on. You
a
know,
rapture.
these last couple months have been no, this ain't a rapture.
What's a rapture? What are you talking about? Like the shit that the church pushes?
Fucking end of
Yeah.
times, you
Oh,
know.
fuck
Yeah,
all that. Oh,
So-
fuck all that. That's bullshit. You know, you want to know how the apocalypse? You guys want to know how the apocalypse is going to happen? Human beings aren't going to fucking pull the plug until it's too fucking late. Okay, and then the world is just going to fucking wipe us out, and then just start over again. That's pretty much what happened with the dinosaurs. Just letting you know.
Yeah.
It's all good.
So,
Like-
so I gotta ask you guys: did you guys? I know. Look, actually, let me talk about this first. I know me and Squilini talked about this, but I really wanted to get Jay's perspective on this.
Okay.
Just a couple weeks ago, Rockstar acquired CFX, which run the Red M and GTA Online servers. Right. Very exciting for guys like me. So there's been a couple theories, right? One theory is this going to be part of because you know GTA now has a subscription plan now for next gen. Is this going to be part of the subscription? That's the negative, right? That's a negative. One positive people think that there might be is that this may enable a way for consoles and PC players and PlayStation players to crossplay. No, you don't like the crossplay idea?
I don't believe any of it. I don't believe a fucking word
Yeah.
Rockstar's saying right now.
Yeah, it's all.
As far as I'm concerned-
They
far as
haven't
I'm
said shit. They haven't announced. The only thing that they announced is
they're
that
full of shit. They're full of
they've
shit.
acquired it. So
They are full of fucking shit. Like that. Like nothing good has come out of Rockstar since Red Dead Redemption 2. Like literally nothing. And so like I'm just warning you all ahead of time. Fucking like they're doing is just consolidating shit that uses their product.
Yeah.
They're
So
they're monopolizing all the stuff that uses their product.
yeah. So
That's
let me throw in
Like-
some perspectives here too, because it was a long time. And Squilini, he actually witnessed this happen, where servers were being shut down constantly because Rockstar didn't want the mods to go through.
Oh,
And so-
surprise!
And
Rockstar's
so
fucking with people, fucking having a good time.
they
Surprise.
came to a point where if they can't beat them, they're going to join them. So, one, they changed their policy on mods. You can now openly do mods and without any problems, without getting in trouble on your servers, right?
I doubt that, but let me guess how long it took Rockstar to fucking backtrack on that shit.
Yeah. Well, it's actually been working because now the first
Well,
thing that happened,
how do we know it's working though if they shut down a bunch of servers? Why did
They
they
didn't
shut down those servers?
well, they're not shutting down servers no more. That's the big thing right now. They're not
But it was
shutting.
just- Which servers did they decide to shut down, and why?
They didn't shut down.
Who got a
any
pass? How come some servers got a pass and other
Well,
servers
you
didn't?
know-
That's my question.
Jay, let me talk. Just hang on. Okay? Just let me fucking talk. All right.
I'll try.
When these servers got
Listen,
shut,
children.
when these servers got shut down, it was about a year before the acquisition happened. It was when they didn't want people doing this. They didn't want it to happen. So just about a month ago, they changed their policy and they decided to acquire. Now, I'm not saying that they bought them out. That's not what happened. They didn't.
That's exactly what fucking happened.
They didn't get bought out. There hasn't been a confirmation or anything about if they got bought out, because as far as the reports and everything that I've been said, CFX is still an independent company, just not bought. Is it going to happen?
None of it.
So.
This sounds like it's the fact that the servers got shut down ahead of a fucking merger. Like, tells me everything I need to know. They shut down what they considered and perceived as problems in advance. Now they're buying out the fucking, like, the whole goddamn enchilada. So they will have fucking full control over which servers do and do not fucking go into play.
That's not true. That's not true. That's
it's
not
happening.
true. Because if that was the case, all the servers would have been shut down already. The server that I'm in, we just got a what do you call that? I have the announcement over here. We just got moved into a high seamless, high broadband, low fidelity server now, which was
good for you. Yeah, good for your server. Good for your server, yes. But like, what about the servers and the people that put the kind of time you're putting in on that server right now? What about them last year? The ones that got shut down.
They're still here. We're back. All those servers are back.
Here's what happened, Jay. Here's what happened, because I'm gonna layman's term it for you. Rockstar came through swinging dick syndrome.
Yep.
Said, hey, we don't like you guys doing this, so we're gonna shut down your shit. Mm-hmm. When Rockstar did that, then Rockstar saw about 90% of the activity for GTA Online, Red Dead Online to drop off, and people were uninstalling the fucking games.
Right.
So Rockstar said, oh shit, we're losing money.
Yeah.
We fucked up
and
undid what they did because they realized they were going to be losing money. So now what they've done is they've entered, I wouldn't say that they bought out this company. They entered into a partnership with that company. So that way the RP servers can be more optimized versus, so in a sense, what the RP servers for Red Dead Online and GTA Online are just hacked versions of the game.
I'm up to speed on everything you've said.
Yeah.
I'm tracking exactly what happened.
So
I think Rockstar's full of shit, and I think it is a fool's errand to fucking put any level of trust in them. So whatever you can twist it around however you want it. I will never forget the shark cards. I'll never forget fucking not getting a fucking Red Dead 2 fucking online version and how quickly they abandoned it. Okay, like I will never forget they milked fucking GTA 5 for fucking like almost 15 years at this point. It's fucking ridiculous. And like putting any level of trust in Rockstar at all right now is a fool's errand. It's a fool's fucking errand. Okay, Rockstar can suck a fucking dick. Rockstar can eat my fucking ass.
Let me be fucking clear. Let me be clear. I don't trust Rockstar. I trust the developers that have just been hired from these RP servers because they know what we want. Again, it was a partnership. So they don't really, if you really think about it, they have control, but this is up to the developers now to keep this running.
But see, here's the problem.
They're the ones that shot themselves in the dick. I'm not fucking. I feel no fucking pity for this at all.
And like, here's where I see a problem though, John. Is now that Rockstar's got their hand in that fucking cookie jar, Rockstar at any moment can pull back and say, "Oh yeah, okay, now that we've entered into this, because right now it's a partnership." It might end up turning into a merger.
Oh, I know.
And when that happens,
what I'm afraid of.
When that fucking happens, here's what Rockstar is going to do. Rockstar is going to shut down Red M and 5M because they're not making money off of those two properties.
Boom. Yeah. Boom. I'm just,
which which is actually kind of weird because hang on, let me say this.
Go
Because
ahead.
a lot of money is being made on Red M. A lot of it. And
I'm sure. I'm
yeah,
sure.
so
But is it
that's
going?
why,
But is it going? Is it going to Rockstar? Because that's why they would pull it.
well,
If
as
it's
of
not
right
going to
now,
Rockstar, that's why
Rockstar cannot touch anything that Tebex, that these developers and these server owners are making, because that's a separate entity called Tebex.
right.
Rockstar they can't do anything about that. But what I do predict is that they will put a block to that eventually, because what is making the money
Mhm.
is not the server owners. The server owners are the server owners and the developers are going to thrive, right? And we're talking about like these top, like the Yellowstone servers,
Sure.
the No Pixels, the Wild RPs. They're going to survive because they're going to have the full on support because they have
Well, and they can keep hopping. They can keep hopping as many times as it fucking
Yeah.
takes. I mean, that
Yeah.
like that is a thing. I mean, and in that regard, John, I don't disagree with you. Like, because pirates are always going to do pirate shit. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like,
I mean, they've been doing it this whole time, have they
that's what
not?
I'm saying. And the
Because
fact that Rockstar hasn't pulled them yet tells me a lot about the people running them. Know a lot more about how to fucking just hop to the next island, basically.
Yeah. Now I do agree. Rockstar knows where the money is, and I think that's why they're coming in to come and take this. Now, on a positive note within all this, I do see very little positives. Crossplay, that's one. I see crossplay.
If it happens, that would be
Yeah.
great. That would be
Because, like,
great.
what's this one game? So there's because you know how certain games, they're not technically crossplay, but you enter like a server in the
Yeah.
game and you
Yes.
play with other people. So
Yeah.
like I think it's gonna turn up to like something like that instead of just, oh yeah, I'm gonna add you from PlayStation and I'm on Xbox.
Sure.
And I think it's gonna be more like server based. But what I'm afraid of is that it's gonna be part of their GTA subscription plan. Like, oh, you want the RP, you want all the best features,
Yeah. Pay us.
pay us.
Fucking pay me, right?
No,
Fucking pay me.
But again, the
It's
ones
a fucking dude. It's racketeering, dude. Like, it's racketeering 101, dude. Like, they're literally monopolizing everyone that uses their product,
Yeah.
so they can get an entrance fee at every fucking gate.
Yeah. Now, if you ask me, am I upset about this? I'm actually not, because there's only other than the possible crossplay that could happen, there is one thing, Jay. One thing that really makes me happy about this, and it's the fact that ever since then, our servers have been seamless.
That's cool. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing.
No,
like, you're not going to hear me argue. Obviously, with the gameplay, and you want gameplay to be as seamless as possible. Let me tell you what makes me the most sad about this entire situation, because this week it was very hot here in Kansas City, right?
Yeah.
We spent a lot of time indoors. Guess what game I used to just go be by myself in the wilderness with?
Red Dead Redemption.
Red Dead 2. I have just spent the last week. I restarted a campaign. I'm going to try to make Arthur fucking like as good as he can possibly be on the fucking like on the.
Oh, you're going pacifist.
Yeah, almost. Not.
Well, yeah, because you can't
extremely hard in that.
It. Yeah,
it is extremely hard in that game to not even having interactions with the NPCs. You can get in trouble.
Yeah,
without even meaning to. If you press the wrong button or the wrong response button, a dude's pulling a gun on you. You know what I mean? Shit happens. People die. What are you gonna do? But no, like you spend an inordinate amount of time, which is not a bad thing for you, in this RP playing Red Dead. I'm playing Red Dead for fun on a disc in my PS4. Right? And we're both using the same game to have fun.
Yeah.
The difference in a year is your server still going to be there? Because my disc and my PS4 are probably still going to be there for me, and I don't necessarily have to fucking connect everything else to enjoy the game.
Now, the server that I'm in, it will definitely be there. But other, like the little Joe Blows and stuff like that, they won't. I mean, take it from me. I started the Down and Dirty server. You remember when I was promoting the shit out of it? You know, me and big old Bear McGregor, we started that server, and what happened? We got lost in the sauce. It's an oversaturated market.
Well, and I'll tell you what too. Like, there's a reason antitrust laws exist. So for those of you kids out there that aren't familiar with like certain legal terms and like reasons, like we don't like monopolies in this country and shit like that, look up antitrust laws. And what I heard from you is a year ago, Rockstar started freaking like using their powers of lawyers and people that can't afford to fucking fight back. They wiped that slate clean, and now they just entered a partnership, which is eventually going to become ownership of all this other shit. So you and your server are probably going to be jumping to the next island in the archipelago.
Oh yeah,
within a year of this. Well, I mean, mark my words, dude. Rockstar has been anti-consumer since GTA 5 was released. They promised so much shit in the online, like I'm talking. This is when I was still like early in my career in the Army. They promised so much shit up front. They didn't deliver on any of it. They took years to deliver on any of it. Okay, the product never got better. They kept fucking suppressing what the people wanted. They introduced fucking shark cards. Okay, like microtransactions for every last goddamn thing. Like they ruined their own fucking reputation. Red Dead Redemption 2 was a fucking triumph and a treat.
it was.
And they fucking did nothing with the online. Like you got an entire
Shame.
beyond a shame. It's beyond a shame. I understand why you're in an RP playing that game. I would rather play fucking Red Dead online than GTA any day of the fucking week.
Yeah,
any day of the fucking week. I have no interest in GTA online at all.
The only thing we can do is hope and is give our thoughts and prayers to CFX to see what happens. Yeah. So next thing,
we'll be putting up their fucking tombstone next year. Fucking mark our words, dude. They're next on the list.
And so we are just a couple days away from Starfield. We're just a couple days away.
Here we go with Starfield again.
We have to.
All over again.
The game
every week.
The game needs to be hyped. It needs to be talked about. There is new advancements every day with this game. My package left Portland, Oregon yesterday at 5 a.m. So it should be.
I hope FedEx doesn't have it. It'll be here in 3 months.
It's not FedEx, thank God. It's even worse. It's UPS. But it's actually funny here because there is a delay too because they didn't get. Apparently the thing didn't go out in time. But Starfield is coming in a couple of days, and I'm here to remind you to preload the game onto your Xbox if you have Game Pass. Okay, you will be able to play the game September 5th. Guys like me will be able to play August 31st. And I am going to, if I do end up getting it on.
Dude, if you don't, I want to be the first one to fucking hear about it. If they fucking screw you out of that shit, I want to fucking hear about it.
Because the early access is supposed to start, they said September 1st. Now it says August 31st. My package is not supposed to be here until September 1st. So my plans of breaking night with Brandon Wayner and Kenny Figueroa to play Starfield all night may not happen because I may be breaking night downloading the fucking game. You know? But other than that, I was looking through some stuff, Jay, and I think I found a build for you.
A build.
It's called Ronin.
Oh boy.
And you pretty much you're a sword and hand technician.
What does that mean in the game?
You don't use guns. You just
use melee weapons instead of fucking firearms.
Can you get to the whole game like that?
Yeah,
probably.
Yep. So
I mean, I'm not exactly a man of the blade. I just use like whatever's kind of handy, but
yeah.
I mean, we'll see. I prefer distance. You know, there's the infantry quarter mile is a thing.
Yeah,
you know
I mean, I could kill you with my cell phone if I really had to.
That's what I'm saying. I think I was at my most dangerous in the Army was when I was a fucking staff sergeant squad leader in the infantry in Helmand province, and I had a fucking radio in my hand. Like that's my most dangerous. It was never a gun that I was behind aiming down the barrel. At my most dangerous, I was a fucking staff sergeant with a radio in my hand.
Yeah.
And that is in actual combat.
Airstrikes are a deadly fucking tool.
That's a fucking real thing. Yeah, artillery, fucking all the shit I can call in. Like that's like.
And hey, it's Starfield.
If you're the dude on the ground, if you are the dude on the ground, there's not very many layers between you and whoever fucking calls the shots. So it's like they will usually listen to. That is part of our chain of command.
Yep.
So it's like I'm just saying, like
Oh yeah,
I will second Jay's entire statement there. Probably my most dangerous moments when I was in combat was when I was the fucking staff sergeant.
Yep.
With the fucking radio in my hand, and it's like, yeah, I need artillery at these coordinates, or I need fucking an airstrike at this location.
Yep.
And then I'm, couple 100 meters back, just watching shit blow up.
Yeah, and
Okay.
hey, you're going to be able to do that in Starfield too. You could play as any type of character you want. And Jay, you're going to like this news. It was revealed through like a bunch of like questions to the developers. What kind of player do I need to be to play Starfield? Do I need to have experience with Bethesda games? Do I need to blah blah blah? And the question is no. You could have never played the Bethesda game ever in your fucking life. And you could come in casually and play the game as you want. And that's it.
Do you guys want to hear?
You know?
You guys want to hear a dirty secret of Jay's? I never
played.
Never played Morrowind. Never played Elder Scrolls. Never played fucking Fallout. Never played Fallout. Fucking.
I believe it.
I never got into it. Like I like the fucking Dungeons and Dragons like RPG style, like where you have to do 500 different things in a game to like level your shit up. Like I was like, it's too much for me. Good.
Yeah,
but this sounds a little bit more.
Yeah. So from experience, I play Fallout 76 every fucking day.
Right.
I play it every fucking day. I spend at least an upwards of probably $250 to $300 a month on it. Like straight up. Like I buy shit off that game. And none of it's play to win. It's all like to build my base and stuff like that. I am a huge Fallout. Again, Fallout's my favorite game. Bethesda is my favorite company. Morrowind's one of my favorite games. I love Oblivion, Skyrim. I am a Bethesda slut. Okay, I take it in.
That's okay. That's okay too. If you enjoy it, by all means, like do that thing you enjoy. I'll sit here.
I figured you were a Bethesda slut when you spent $400 on fucking Starfield because of a watch.
I mean, hey, dude, like, I'll tell you what.
I love my. I mean, dude, do you know how much I spent for that Pip Boy up there?
It's okay.
Well,
I'm telling you
that.
I
have that exact same Pip Boy. So.
Yeah.
I
know how much you spent.
I can talk all the shit about Rockstar I want all day long, and all these fucking asshole like suckers of Satan's cock demon corporations, okay? And in the same breath, be like, yeah, but they released one of my favorite games of all time. I don't have a moral conundrum with that. I do not have a moral conundrum with that.
That's where
if you like it, you like it, dude. Go for it. If it helps, go for it.
That's where I'll say, with Bethesda, the only two letdowns I really have with Bethesda was the early days of Fallout 76. The game was fucking trash,
unplayable,
full of bugs, unplayable.
Yeah.
And Elder Scrolls Online. With Elder Scrolls Online, Elder Scrolls Online had the same issues in the very beginning.
Yeah.
But the thing is, Bethesda sat back, listened to the players, and fixed the fucking problems quick.
Yeah, they did.
Which is what Rockstar used to do.
But
that is exactly
at the same time, though, Bethesda has a better track record with single player games, non-online shit, than they do with online games, because we've gotten two online games from them. The two online games we got from them, they fixed a lot of the major issues, but there's still issues within those games.
There is still always a bug. There is always still something.
I can go back and play Fallout 4, fucking New Vegas, any of the Elder Scrolls, 1 through fucking 5, and have a great fucking time playing them.
Yeah. And that's the same thing with me. I got in like at Fallout 76, I've become known in the forums as the dollar store guy.
The dollar store guy? Tell me about that.
So
tell me about that.
I have found out that through some of the forums and the discords and stuff like that, in the Bethesda Discord, that there is a guy named Clean Sanchez who gives out who sells all his legendary shit for $1. And I have a bowling alley, I have a theme park, I have an underground theme park, and I have my dollar store, and no one fucks with me.
Look at that, like goodwill towards men, fucking now creates fucking like goodwill back toward yourself.
Now there's something
surprise, right?
There was something really big that Squillini forgot to bring up about the online games. Yes, they're buggy. They're not as buggy. I mean, and when we talk about bugs, I mean like the one current bug that I'm facing right now is my because I'm an energy weapons guy. So my Gauss
Mhm.
pistol with has electromagnetic ammo, I can't reload it unless I put it back in my pocket and pull it back out, which is an obvious bug. Yeah, I can't reload
That's
it.
a
I
fucking
can't.
problem. That's not a bug.
Yeah,
That's like I'm being attacked and I have to
I need to
pocket my
reload my
fucking
shit.
weapon to reload. What
Yeah,
the?
so that's a big bug issue that
That's
I'm
where
having
you need
right
to have
now.
a fucking backup weapon.
Oh, I
Like,
do. I do. It's called. You're gonna hate me for this. It's called the Starfield, and it's a laser. It's a laser. It's a blue laser rifle that I have. Listen,
this motherfucker is sucking Starfield's dick so bad right
I
now.
am.
It's
I am.
unfucking
I'm
believable.
going to be. See, Bethesda. They don't seem to fucking get it yet. Okay, I will play your shit if it doesn't fucking work. Okay, I do not give a fuck. You give me the game, I will play it. I will suck it. I will eat it. I will lather it. I will oil it up. Give it to me. Okay, I am the Bethesda guy, and
See,
every
see the thing.
and I don't disagree with what people are saying about Bethesda, but there is one thing that Squillini forgot to mention about those two online games. And it's the thing that makes these games so popular and why these games still run. It's not just because of the developers, it's not because of the money, it's because of the communities. Okay? You find me a game where a level 1 guy that just comes out the vault or whatever the fuck they come out in
Well,
ESO.
yeah, the communities are fucking what holds those games together.
You like
I-
I'm the kind of guy, so me, if I have nothing to do, if there's no events to do in game or anything like that, I'll go to Vault 76 and I'll wait there. I will wait there and I'll wait for a new person to come out and I'll give them weapons, I'll give them food, I'll give them armor, a whole bunch of new shits that they could be on their way.
Yeah.
And Bethesda saw how the community was so like welcoming with this, they put a donation box in the fucking game. So I mean, they're doing the right things. And even
Donation box. What does that mean? What does that
So
mean?
So pretty
let-
much there's in Fallout 76 in the beginning of the game in Vault 76 there's a donation box, or outside of it there's a donation box. So other players can go and just put items that they don't need. So new players, when they come out of the initial, when they go through the initial tutorial at the beginning of 76, they can come out and there's a donation box there. So they can grab, like food items out of it or better clothing or something like that
and ESO does the same thing too.
to kind of help them start their journey in the game, which hands down, major kudos to the developers and Bethesda for saying, hey, our communities already are all about helping new players. Let's go ahead and do something to help them help new players.
Man, it's amazing what happens when you don't act like a complete fucking asshole in real life. Holy fucking shit.
Yeah.
It's almost like if you're good to people, people will be good back to you. What an amazing concept.
Can I ask you an
Who
important
would have
question?
fucking thought?
Can I ask you an important question? Do you think that okay, I heard a quote from one of the developers. I actually think it was Todd Howard himself, the developer, the director of Bethesda, where he says he feels good for the future of mankind when he sees people in video games being communal like this. Do you agree with that?
Well, I mean, yeah, we see that over and over again in humanity. When there is an actual need, people will band together. Everyone thinks like the apocalypse is going to happen and people are just going to become like these like chaotic, like anarchist fucking roaming tribes of fucking like cannibals. It's like history does not fucking show that at all. Literally at fucking all. What we see in history over and over and fucking over again is in times of extreme crisis, people banding together and consolidating as much as they have together for the benefit of the greater whole. Okay, so If you talk about faith in humanity, yes, I have it. And it's because of shit like that. It's because of shit like that. And yes, you see it in video games. You see fucking people in video games doing the right thing. If a player is being an asshole on a server, what does the server get together and do? They fucking like they'll troll the shit out of them and then kick them out. You know what I mean? Like you see this over and over, and it is the same in real life. If you start going to your local neighborhood watering hole, you know, and you start acting the fucking fool every other fucking time you go there, eventually you're gonna walk out one night and get fucking waylaid by some bushwhackers, and you're not gonna be coming back to that. Yeah, and you ain't coming back to that fucking bar for a while, dude. Like that's basically like as in real life. Like people will only put up with your bullshit up to a certain point. And after that, you're just all you're doing is putting a fucking giant target on your back. So I mean, that's like you can be a fucking nice person in real life and in fucking virtual life, or you can be a fucking asshole. If you choose to be an asshole, don't be surprised when somebody fucking like lays you low and fucking humbles your ass and fucking shows you what it's like to fucking to have your fucking face in the gutter for a while. You know what I'm saying? So just throwing it out there, just
Yeah, I mean, I just thought it was an interesting thing to say. You know what I mean? Because something as many. I mean, we don't see that type of community in fucking GTA. I'll tell you that much. But like when you play,
big surprise, Rockstar attracts assholes. Like big fucking surprise, right?
Oh God, yeah. And it's very interesting. I thought it was an interesting thing to talk about. But again, guys, a couple more days. I'm very excited. You could preload the game.
I'm excited for you. I'm excited for you. I just wanted you to know that. I'm excited for you.
Everybody that I work on podcasts with, except this one, I was like, do not contact me for 3 weeks. I literally told everyone else that I work on, I was like, I'm unavailable.
Out of communication. We're going fucking radio silent, dude.
Yeah. And also I need to put this out there. I'm back on streaming again on Kick. I was streaming Fallout, some RP. We're going full fucking ham on the sauce. We're going to be streaming hours and hours and hours of Starfield. It's good. We're going like anywhere between 6 to 16 hour streams, breaking night, playing the game. We're going to learn everything about it. I have a 1,000 page document that to pretty much get me acquainted. I've been watching I've been watching Interstellar. I've been watching Melody Sheep videos. So guys,
I was gonna say this, if there's one thing that might keep me off of this game when I download it and when I play it, and I promise you I will, if there's one thing that keeps me off is if it's too complex, like I will not get into it. If I have to spend inordinate amounts of time like doing stuff that just does nothing for me, like it's gonna. But I am hopeful, John, because it is 2023. I am hopeful that what kept me off of Morrowind, what kept me off of Elder Scrolls, what kept me off of fucking Fallout, what I'm hoping is, my hope is that this game can find a way to suck me in and give me a reason to keep playing it.
To keep it simple enough for players like you to be able to continue playing it and stuff like that.
Dude, I have time that I can play video games. What I do not have is time to waste when I play video games.
Let me ask you this, because they announced mods would be available. If you found a mod that would help it make it easier for you to play, would you play it?
I'm not sure. I'm not, because I would still probably ultimately still need to do stuff in game with or without a mod. That doesn't. I am such a casual gamer. Like I don't do mods. I never use I don't use cheat codes.
Of course.
I am either into the game enough that I will play it enough to become good at it, or I am not into it at all and I quit and I'm done. And like pretty much anybody that's known me from the days of the old school NES to up to now will tell you the exact thing. If I like it, I like it. If I don't, Jay's hands are clean. So
let's break a little ice real quick.
Sure.
I need to tell you guys, a genie asked me a question the other day.
A genie? Like out of a bottle?
Yes.
Oh fuck yeah! How'd you find that shit? Where'd you find that shit? Jersey Shore? Did you find that shit on the Jersey Shore? Eh?
Detroit.
Of course you found it in fucking Detroit. The fuck were you doing in Detroit, John?
So
we've talked about this.
The genie came out and asked me. He asked me if I wanted a good memory or a big penis.
That's the question.
Yeah.
Would you rather have a good memory or a big penis? Seriously?
He asked me what I wanted.
Oh. So how did it come between a memory and a penis?
Well, that's what he said. He asked me if I wanted good memory or if I wanted a big penis.
What'd you say?
I don't remember.
I fucking hate you, dude. I fucking hate you.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I've been scammed. Oh man. I mean, so anything else crazy that's been going on this week? I mean, we had the deaths, we had
Go ahead.
Wagner.
We'll talk about Wagner in a minute. I
Yeah.
did last week. Okay, so last week we talked about. I watched part of Painkiller. That's trending on Netflix right now. Only to find out when I kind of did a deep dive on it that there was another miniseries was done on Hulu like 2 years ago called Dope Sick, and it is functionally like the same story.
Oh,
They focus on a couple of different characters that are, no, I should say characters, people involved in the investigation into Purdue Pharma and OxyContin and all that. I watched the entire series of Dope Sick. I don't want to get us into a negative mood, but like Painkiller is trending on Netflix. Dope Sick is on fucking Hulu. If you have either or both of these fucking streaming services, this is must watch television. This shit fucking actually happened. Some of the characters are depicted in the miniseries are either conglomerations of multiple people or they're slightly fictionalized, but this all actually happened. And I'm telling you guys, like both of those miniseries it is must watch television. If you want to know like why a lot of our country is in the fucking toilet right now, okay, like if you want to talk about a manufactured drug crisis that occurred and these corporate fucking suckers of Satan's cock and a very, very evil family by the name of the Sacklers contributed to the opioid epidemic in the early 2000s. They broke the back of several states that relied heavily on fucking blue collar and fucking manual labor. You know what I mean? You guys need to watch this fucking TV. It is must watch. This shit happened. It's real. It's
You're
still
talking
going.
about Dope Sick, right?
Yeah, it's called Dope. Yeah, the one on Hulu is called Dope Sick, and the one on Netflix is called Painkiller.
Yeah.
I don't know about you. I know. Actually, I do know. All three of us.
Dope Sick.
All three of us on this podcast have we have been hit with the opioid crisis by people by virtue of people that we know, people we have lost. Okay, like people we no longer stay in contact with because when they go off the rails, you have to basically like cut sling load. All right, like that's all of us have been affected by this.
That's heartbreaking too when you got to cut it too, because sometimes
it really, bro, there's nothing you can do. I'm telling you right now that if the only demons that I've ever seen in real life are drugs like heroin and fucking opioids, okay? Like because people do not come back from them. They can come back and they can make a recovery, but that fucking monkey is on their back. It's like war for me, right? That monkey, that's the dragon. That's the dragon they will chase for the rest of their lives. You know what I mean? Like that is the dragon they will chase for the rest of their lives. And I'll tell you right now, like it is heartbreaking, and I do want to try to trend a little bit more positive. But I watched Dope Sick this week, and it is must watch television. Both of those, the one on Hulu called Dope Sick, and the one on Netflix called fucking Painkiller. Both of them are must watch television. They're both 8 episodes long. It's basically like watching Band of Brothers. Each episode's about an hour long. Okay, like everybody needs to see this shit. Everyone needs to see this shit. All right.
I'm pretty familiar with Dope Sick. I've never seen. I do want to watch Painkiller. I'm a huge Matthew Broderick fan.
He plays Richard Sackler in and he's like, and Richard Sackler is probably stuff I can't say in public, right? even on a podcast for entertainment purposes only, right? There's just stuff I can't say out loud. I cannot say enough bad things out loud about that man and his family and how bad they fucking like broke the back of our goddamn great nation. Okay.
Dude, at this point, we're going to be pushed to Rumble.
They were effectively a corporate drug cartel, following the letter of the law and using their lawyers and they would buy lawyers that were against them and have those lawyers come work for them so that they could get laws passed to market OxyContin.
Interesting.
You just watch it. I'm gonna have to check that out. It's all fucking true. It's all true, but it's a gut punch. And yeah. Love you guys. Cheers. Cheers to everybody we lost in the opioid crisis. All right. Cheers to all the families. Cheers.
I know I have water, but
we lost a lot of good people, and we're still losing them today.
And while we're talking about the opioid crisis, I also want to add in too. I mean, this is by far not a review because I reviewed it last week, but 60 days in.
Yeah.
The opioid crisis. I mean,
guess what happens when you get hooked? Eventually you're gonna spend some time in jail. You're gonna find your way, or you're gonna fucking die.
Yeah, this season was very interesting because they actually stood in the jail 60 days after the contestants left. So you got to see like more drugs going through and stuff like that, raids being conducted and things like that. But there was one female in the show. She was an inmate named Heather. Mm-hmm. And she had an issue where she had a drug problem. Her kids got taken away. You know, the typical story. You know the story. You know, parent gets addicted to drugs, no way out, goes to jail a few times, loses his kid, and this is the story that's going on. And she, you know, she's talking about how she wants to get cleaner and cleaner, but then she gets a roommate in her cell that gives her cocaine. You know, and it's like the people around you influence the negative shit that happens. It's like, you know,
it's a vicious cycle.
How do you get yourself out of that trap when you're so deep in already? You know, like I want to get a little personal real quick. During COVID, and I'll admit this, during COVID, I had an insane cocaine addiction.
I'm sorry, man.
And if you guys realize, we just lost Squilini. He had a bad connection, it looks like. When that happened, I would do like 5 lines Sunday morning and then come on the show.
I'm sorry, brother.
You know,
I didn't know that. So
hey, it's something that
I appreciate you being real about it. Like I didn't know that. Like
it was, and I don't talk about it a lot, but I feel like I should talk about it because there's another thing. You know, during the pandemic, I developed a really bad addiction, and that, you know, and what's very scary about that is that, you know, we weren't going outside, and, you know, I felt like I couldn't get myself out of it. I was waking up doing drugs and then coming to do this show, and I did not feel good about it. You know, I did not feel good about it, but I still was able to do the show, which is crazy, and which made me feel like I had the empowerment to continue doing it. That I was like, oh, I'm capable. I could keep doing this. And that's a mentality that a lot of addictive personalities go through, and then they end up doing more and more. And it wasn't until one bad batch and the guy going to jail and me suspecting there could have been some fentanyl in it in order for me to be like, dude, like I can't do this no more, you know. And
man, freaking reefer's freaking legal in a lot of states. It's there's so much better things out there. And when we talk about I know it can seem at times when we come on the show that we feel, you know, you and me specifically sometimes feel like hypocrites because we have done a lot in our lives. We've been through the dregs, you know, inside and outside of the army. We kind of have, we've traveled a lot of roads. We've traveled a lot of roads. When we talk about things like drug addiction, when we talk about things like, you know, what it does to the individual, what it does to the people, the loved ones, the family, the friends around them. And we never want to come off as hypocritical, but the reality is, even as individuals, it can feel like we're being hypocrites, even if we're in a better place now, because I remember all the times in my previous, you know, eras of life, I wasn't always a good dude. You know what I mean? I wasn't always a good dude. And like, Squilini, you good, man?
Yeah, no, we were just talking about how I came off of how I, you know, when I was doing DD214 during the pandemic, I was constantly high on cocaine. And there was actually a time when one of our co-hosts noticed it. And you know what he did? He went like this to me. He said, yo, he said on the show, And you know, those episodes, a lot of those pandemic episodes cease
They
to
in the vault?
exist now.
Are
Yeah,
they in the
they're
vault?
done. Yeah,
Are they in
so
the
you know,
vault?
so I can proudly say that, you know, I've been clean for over a year now from it,
Well, that's good.
and you
That's
know,
good. That's
and
the
I'm-
shit. That's the shit I like to fucking hear right there. That's
know,
the shit I like to hear.
I like my cannabis. I like my cannabis, man. You know, and
I tell my therapist all the time. I am not opposed. I am not opposed necessarily to taking medication, but as of right now, my use of cannabis keeps me off of like probably 12 different medications that the VA
Yeah.
would probably give me immediately.
Yeah.
And so far I'm coming up on about 2 years out of the Army.
Yeah.
I still have yet to be prescribed anything, you know, pharmaceutical.
Yeah.
And the main probably progenitor of that is that I utilize cannabis as a medicine and not necessarily to get high, if that makes sense. And by the way, due to some of my disabilities, when I do ingest cannabis, and I don't really know how to describe this to you guys in a way that makes sense, other than it does not last nearly as long as you might think it does. Like in my body and my brain chemistry, like I've got about 20 to 30 minutes after I ingest that I might feel something. After that, I feel like completely sober again. And it's like, and that is a hard thing to rectify. Like I remember, you know, being a freaking dumbass teenager and getting vapor locked to the couch for like 3 hours off of like, you know, smoking a bowl. And now it's like, I got like 15, 20 minutes, maybe. Maybe.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and I'll go up for a second. And then I'm right back down to freaking like the sobriety line. Like it does not take my brain very long. And I'm right back to freaking like square zero. Like as far as like, if we're talking about inebriation, okay. Like, and that's something I talked to my therapist about. Okay. That's a Jay and his therapist thing, but that is a reality that occurs inside my head. Like it doesn't really matter what I do. I have to find alternate paths to freaking take, you know, the switch, you know, to redo the switchboard in my brain basically. And I'm trying to find these other ways around to make things work in my day-to-day life so that I don't fall into that trap of I need this, I need that. And then once you're hooked, that's it. That's it, homie. Like that's it.
Yeah.
what you wanna get a little happier?
Yeah.
A little happier.
Please.
So let's talk about we got two things left. Let's talk about our boy.
Oh man. Oh, look at that.
A good old
Look at that.
42.
Dude, you know, I got to say for a guy that, you know, he was going to drain the swamp and be this guy definitely like drained the swamp because, you know, this is the very first, just so you all know, I want to congratulate Donald Trump on being the fucking very first president to ever have a fucking mugshot taken. Okay. Congratulations. Great fucking job.
You know, and
That was the best mug shot. It's the best mug shot. Okay. The best mug shot. Nobody has ever looked tougher. Nobody has ever scowled at the cops when they took his picture better. That's the best mug shot. Just the best.
dude, I mean, I don't think people realize how
It's a big
crazy
fucking
this
deal.
is.
It's a big
It's a
fucking deal.
huge deal.
Like and
Huge deal.
huge.
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 Bro.
We literally have, and I want to point something out too, that if back in the 70s, they probably should have arrested fucking Nixon.
Oh yeah.
And if they had arrested Nixon and you know, the whole you know, when Nixon got pardoned by Ford as a gesture of goodwill.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody could have predicted that, like, you know, certain types of people would take that as, okay, well, now we're above the law because not even, you know, the president's not going to get fucking in trouble. If Donald Trump did one good thing, this picture right here shows us that no one in this country is above the law. I don't want a fucking king. Okay. I don't want a fucking dictator. I don't want an autocrat. I don't want an oligarch. Okay. If this guy's got billions of fucking dollars, how come he keeps fucking asking people for donations on his website to pay his fucking legal funds? No, I'm serious. He said he wasn't going to take. He said he was
about it because it is.
That was his whole fucking thing, right? I'm a rich man, and I won't have to take from the American people. And this motherfucker is like putting his own mugshot on a fucking t-shirt and saying never surrender. Like, motherfucker, you surrendered. He's right. His surrender picture is right there. Look at it. He surrendered. What the fuck is going on? Like, fuck this guy. Fuck this fucking guy, dude. And he wants to be president again. And people are still following this.
Now,
like, dude, he's fucked. He's
the
fucked.
Now that's not going to happen now, right?
According to fucking, the goddamn 14th Amendment and Section 3 of the 14th Amendment, you're not supposed to be able to run for fucking office if you're charged with, not just convicted, charged with certain crimes. He just got fucking charged with a bunch of them. And I want to remind everybody that, like, Georgia brought RICO.
Isn't it over 90?
Georgia brought RICO fucking charges against this asshole. RICO charges. Rudy Giuliani, the first person to use RICO charges, got charged on RICO charges. That's racketeering, guys. That's racketeering.
They give that to the mafia. That's mafia charge.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Georgia just charged him. Oh, by the way, if that dude becomes president again, he can't pardon himself from this crime. You know why? It's a fucking state charge, not federal. Like, I'm telling you guys right now, dude, like, pay attention to what's going on. This asshole wants to be fucking president again, dude. Fuck this guy, dude. That guy wants to be king. That guy wants to be your king. All right. And there's a whole bunch of fucking assholes.
Now,
A whole bunch of people tried to fucking make this guy a king, dude. And I'm telling you right now, dude, like, we were so lucky that it didn't happen. We are so fucking lucky it didn't happen.
So here's my big question. And this is just because I haven't looked into it enough yet. Since he still technically is a ex-president, a prior president, will he still have a Secret Service detail while he's in fucking prison?
Not in prison.
He made bail.
Nope. He won't. Not while he's in prison. No. He would. And also, if you guys don't know, ex-presidents can deny their Secret Service details. They don't have to.
Oh, interesting. I didn't know that.
They have a choice. They can utilize the Secret Service, or they can deny if they don't want them. By the way, speaking of the Secret Service, there's stuff going on in the Secret Service where on like January 6th, a whole bunch of Secret Service agents deleted their fucking text messages.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there's a whole thing with that.
Yeah.
Loyalists. Those are called loyalists. For those of you guys that are like familiar or unfamiliar with like American history, and like, we had like loyalists to King George when the
tyrant King George, of course.
Yeah, there were loyalists. There were people living in the United States that were loyalists to King George. Okay. What we have here is a bunch of loyalists to Donald Trump, which why you would be loyal to a guy that can't even pay his fucking, like, his lawyer's fucking, legal bills. This guy got rid of his fucking lawyer the day he got fucking that picture taken. He got rid of his top lawyer. You know why lawyers usually fucking, like, drop their fucking clients? Because they know their clients are a fucking liability. MAGA stands for make attorneys get attorneys. Like, Rudy Giuliani got charged with fucking RICO. How many of this guy's fucking lawyers are being charged?
And can I put it into perspective too?
It's like a mob boss. The dude's a fucking.
I grew up and I live right across the river from New York City, where Rudy Giuliani and Donald Trump's name were daily said, because we would see what they were doing, because we were always visiting New York City and seeing Rudy Giuliani was the guy who cleaned up New York City, and now the guy is
cleaned up.
Yeah.
What he did was he got rid of the Italian mafia and the Russian mafia moved in,
and then got charged
with RICO. The same shit.
The same shit that
Cody. OMG. Yeah, Cody doesn't like Trump either.
Yeah. Well, I mean.
By the way, if you want a little bit of Cody, chill. Seriously, if you want a little bit of like. Okay. That's the.
We get it, Cody. You'll be okay.
We'll go outside in a minute.
This podcast is not Cody. This podcast does not endorse Donald Trump. You're good.
So, like, if you want to look up a really cool New York City stat about Donald Trump, look at who voted for Donald Trump in New York City in the last like election. And like New York City did not vote. Like everybody in that city. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. New York City does not like Donald Trump. Like
every time you say Trump, he gets louder.
He's really getting pissed.
Yeah, he is. Yeah. Well, here's what I don't like. There have been 44 presidents that came before this guy. And 44 times the transfer of power was fucking very peaceful. That was even an issue during World War II. They were worried that when FDR passed away, that other countries were like, oh, is there going to be a peaceful transfer of power? Like now that it's wartime. And because of our system, there was a peaceful transfer of power from Roosevelt to Truman. And we just continued World War II like there was no problem. Right now, four out of the 6 fucking military branches don't have a head. We don't have a joint chief of staff right now because one Republican senator is blocking all of them. Guess who that guy is? He's a loyalist to fucking Trump.
Oh, Jesus.
Okay. These guys, no, I'm telling you, like look it up. Like there is no joint chiefs of staff right now because there are unconfirmed generals waiting to become. There's no head of the army. There's no head of the fucking Marines. There's no head of the fucking Navy. Okay. Like this is happening in real time. And it's all people that are fucking butthurt that like fat motherfucker, like didn't become a king fucking on January 6, 2021. Mm-hmm. All right. We're talking about facts. This is the 4th time that rapist. Yeah. And he's a rapist, by the way, as per a fucking judge, that fucking rapist. This is the 4th time that rapist got fucking arrested. This is just his first mugshot. He's got so many fucking court cases coming again. He tried to like usurp a fucking Democratic election, which is another first in this entire country. That is the first asshole that just said, no, I'm still president.
Yep.
What a fucking child. Have you seen some of his fucking like social media posts on his like stupid fucking platform?
Oh, there's
this guy is a fucking child.
He is.
This guy's a fucking child, a baby, a giant fucking baby. If that guy was your platoon leader, your platoon would be fucked. Okay? Like, yep. And I'm sure some of you guys out there fucking know how that feels. Or your company commander. Imagine a battalion commander like him. I can, because we had a few. Right. And life was miserable for everyone because they were in charge. And you want that son of a bitch to be your fucking king? You're in the wrong fucking country, bro. Go fucking hang out in Eastern Europe, dude, or fucking somewhere else where they fucking like that shit. Go to Hungary. Go to Hungary and ask them fucking what it's like when you have an autocrat usurp a fucking. By the way, that happened recently. Look up Hungary and their democratic transfer over to an autocracy. It just happened. It's very recent history.
Yep. And
read your fucking news, kids. Fuck Donald Trump.
And
while we're
still in political news, it's breaking news now. Russia has confirmed through DNA test that Wagner chief Prigozhin has died in a plane crash.
Oh,
I have a theory. I have a theory that a phone call was made right before the crash happened, and boom.
One extra suitcase makes it onto the plane. One extra suitcase makes it onto the plane. Plane accidentally blows up in the middle of the sky outside of Moscow. What could have possibly happened? What could have possibly happened? I mean, I don't know. Freaking like. By the way, Ukraine's also made a couple of very strong.
Ukraine shoot it down?
No, that was all Russia internal. And the current statement from U.S. intelligence is that there was likely a bomb on board. So Ukraine has made some significant advances during their counterattack is still occurring right now. And I want everybody to keep their eyes on Eastern Europe and freaking Russia for the next few weeks, because what people don't realize is when there's a massive counterattack and stuff like that, it does not happen overnight. If you guys recall, D-Day was on June 6th. Okay. The breakout didn't occur for weeks after that. Okay. And the war didn't end until, what was it? I'm sorry, May of 45. Okay. This shit is not going to happen overnight. All right. Be patient. Don't listen to the assholes when they tell you fucking Russia has any claim to any of the fucking land in Ukraine, including Crimea. Don't listen to the assholes when they tell you that like Ukraine should give up land. It's not going to happen. The Ukrainian people are not going to allow it at this point. That is their country. They're going to push them back to the borders. They're going to fucking retake Crimea. Okay, they're going to kick out a bunch of people that didn't belong there in the first place. Okay, they're going to destroy that fucking piece of shit bridge. That bridge is Crimea and fucking Russia. Okay, and I'm telling you guys right now, it's happening. All right, this has definitely been a hot week. So Jay's a little hot. Okay, I get hot under the collar about corporations. I get hot under the collar about corporate fucking drug cartels. I get hot under the collar about fucking former presidents that fucking like restrict freedom and fucking just can't stand fucking being talked bad about, like to the extent that they don't even do debates with their fellow Republicans. They'd rather fucking have a goddamn talk seminar with fucking Tucker fucking Cucker Tarleton, whatever the fuck his name is. Is it Cucker Tarleton? Yeah, Cucker Tarleton. There was a whole debate. The Republicans had a debate this week, and guess who wasn't there? Fucking Trump, because he was talking to Cucker Tarleton.
Mm-hmm.
All right, like that's fucking.
It's funny too, because Geraldo Rivera and Bill O'Reilly are going to start doing something together too.
It's gross. This is gross. Okay, so when you see the maggots infesting the dead meat, all right, get the fuck away from it. That's a vector of disease. That is a vector of disease, ladies and gentlemen. All right, protect your rights.
Yep, and now that, and before we get to our final thought, I just want to say the final news that we have, that Fort AP Hill in Virginia has been redesignated as Fort Walker to honor Dr. Mary Walker, the only
female Medal of Honor recipient. Fuck yes, Dr. Mary K. Walker.
Yep.
We've talked about that on this show before.
Yes, we have. She earned the medal for heroics treating wounded troops in the Civil War while under fire.
That's fucking right. That's fucking right.
I think this is a beautiful way to honor this individual, and to kind of bring in the tradition that these new base names are actually really cool. The new base names are actually really cool. I like them. And oh man, I mean,
give me 1 second, John.
No, yeah. Oh, yeah, he's typing it. Fort Walker, a small Virginia Army installation that serves as one of the main training grounds for National Guard units in the region, had been named in honor of the Confederate general who waged war against the U.S.
Right. Why
So
why
would you even name it that in the first place?
Long overdue. Long overdue. This has been, we need to get rid of this fucking like, the South fought any kind of a good fight for any fucking reason other than fucking like they wanted to keep fucking slavery fucking legal. Like the goddamn founding fathers argued over this shit. Like they did. Mm-hmm. And it took fucking like 70 some odd years before they finally before it happened. And once it happened, like, I'll tell you what, we still 150 some odd years after the end of the Civil War, 160 years now almost after the end, we are still seeing the ramifications of like what happened during that fucking time. All right.
Yep.
Like this is good history. Okay. The South fucking lost, guys. I hate to fucking break it to you. All right. Americans like freedom. Americans like fucking freedom. Truth, justice, the American way, that whole fucking bullshit. All right. You don't get to fucking like, you don't get to terrorize people. All right. There's people fucking taking books off of library shelves in like several states right now. Removing books is not fucking freedom. All right. Changing the way you teach this about the Civil War is not freedom. You know what I'm saying? Like this is reality happening in front of your face right now. All right. Do you want to have freedom, or do you want somebody else to tell you what the fuck to do for the rest of your life because it just makes it easier and more comfortable? All right. Ask yourself that fucking question, because it's happening in front of your face right fucking now. You know what I like seeing? I like seeing a fucking president in fucking handcuffs. You know why? That tells me that the fucking system of law and order is such that in this country, nobody is above the law, including the big guy. No one is above the law. That is what a republic is. It is a land ruled by law. In a democratic republic, you get to choose democratically who rules and freaking who freaking basically like understands the law. And when people usurp that, they take a democratic republic and they will turn it into an autocracy or an oligarchy. Okay? That is what you do not want. There's no freedom there. You'll be a fucking slave for the rest of your life. You'll just be a slave that freaking pays rent and goes to work a fucking shit job for shit pay with no fucking health care for the rest of your life. Oh, by the way, your kids' schools are underfunded because they're getting undercut by bureaucrats and fucking corporate fucking suckers of Satan's cock in every state. It's been happening for fucking 4 decades.
Yep.
You guys tell me when you want to stop. You guys tell me when you want off the ride.
I'm ready for the final thought. Does anyone want to take it from me before I take it?
You take it. You take it. Jay ranted a lot this week, so you take it.
You needed to get it out. There was a lot of shit that happened this week.
Bro, I'm sick to death of people following. In the infantry, we say follow me, okay? But we don't follow shitbags. Okay, in the infantry, the guy that says follow me is not a shitbag. So, like, if you want to stay alive, you don't follow the shitbags. You follow the fucking studs. Okay? So, like, find a stud, and that could be anybody. It doesn't have to be a dude. That could be a lady, a freaking man. It could be a fucking child. If you're right, you're right. All right? Follow the studs. Follow the fucking studs, not the goddamn shitbags. Sorry, John.
Right. No, you're good. And, today's final thought, it's no different than the rest of them. Every single week, we promote the fact that suicide prevention must be promoted more. All right? There are people dying every single fucking day, taking their own lives. Why? Because you don't want to answer the phone for your own fucking friends, for your family? Call somebody today and tell them that you love them. Show up at your buddy's door and bring him a goddamn sandwich. Call your fucking parents, for Christ's sake. Wash your ass. Okay? A good bath could take away that little stress right away. Right away. So, ladies and gentlemen, the National Suicide Hotline, you could dial *988, or you can hit 1-800-273-8255. That's 1-800-273-TALK. Call this number today. We know friends and family could be fucking lousy sometimes. Call that number. You'll gain a new friend today. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being here. Come join us next week, as always, where I get to spit my boner out for fucking Starfield. I think I'm going to Wild West City this week, so you get to hear me talk about that.
Cool.
And yeah, lots of new stuff coming out.
I think it was yesterday or the day before was the anniversary of Dr. King's "I Have a Dream" speech.
Yes, it was. I would love to talk about that next week. We should,
because I think it was the anniversary this week, but we had so much other stuff that it became kind of like, what's up, buddy? This is Cody. That's Cody.
We got to make sure he gets his ID badge sorted out.
He's like, Dad, can I just go outside now? Can I just go outside? I just want to go outside. I'm like, this poor guy. That's what
a lot of us are about to do now. I'm about to go watch some wrestling.
Yeah, I got to go play softball, but it's a very pleasant 78 degrees right now, and it's cloudy, so like that should be the easy part. So
it's 81 now, so we're gonna die soon.
One of these days, dude. 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10.
Guys, we love you.
Love you.
Don't slip in the shower. Wash your ass. Squillini, I love you, man. You take it easy.
You too.
Love you, Squillini.
Body.
Guys, be good. We'll see y'all next week. 168. Your ass is here.
Everybody in 168.
Be better.